It's going on to that point exactly, because last week we heard from ministers that they want to basically use rappers and athletes as a way of engaging young people involved in crime.
That's an insult.
As we got...
Straight away, I'm going to tell you that now.
Before you go into it, please.
That's an insult. The youth today, they're making a lot of mistakes because they don't have the role model, they don't have the positive guidance.
The role model thing is they've got no positive role models.
Maybe not having enough father figures around, that's another issue.
All they're looking at is rappers or other broken guys.
Yeah, but what you need to remember is, man, there's role models out there and the media don't show them.
This is the way it is with the young people.
What are they doing with their leisure time? Like, are they occupied? Are they got a hobby? Are they something that they're really focused on? Like mine was music and basketball.
There ain't no such thing as a legitimate grind, fam. No one's making no pee off no legitimate life, especially from where we're from.
Well, if they ain't seeing no positive role models, what do you think they're gonna do?
Gang members and drug dealers is all they see in the end, so of course they're gonna do roles.
Yeah, it's just positive role models that are having other older guys to look up to that are actually positive rather than negative, and to know that they can actually aspire to be somebody.
Role models is very personal. So it's both the people close to you, the people that you can touch and know, the people that you don't know, but ultimately they have values and characteristics that really align with your own, and also maybe some successes and failures that you're looking to maybe emulate or think about.
My name is Olu, also known as Bilal, and formerly known as Grim. My story's the same as many young people of today. I went to school, didn't notice any positive role models, so I went on the roads, got involved in gangs, I went to prison a few times as well. Thanks to God and noticing the impact on my mother, I decided to walk away from all of that. The unfortunate thing is people that come away from that don't get praise enough. And the media and all these different documentaries would rather focus on the negative parts to our story than the success and its steps that it took for us to get there. This documentary was made to show the youth and those on the roads that we don't all need to be footballers and rappers to reach the greener side.
I decided to start this off with MG, an ex-gang member from South London who left a life of crime almost 10 years ago.
I guess for those that don't know you, could you just sort of share with us who you are and what you do?
Alright, well, I'm MG. I'm the founder of Cop It. So Cop It is like a store that sells limited exclusive clothing, footwear and accessories. Growing up, I didn't have what everyone else had, like the latest kicks, even some unknown stuff, platform stuff from Sunday Market. Yeah. That's the type of stuff I used to go to school with. If you're not with the gang, like doing what the gang's doing, then you're not the mandem, innit? Like if the mandems are going out licking it, shotting, robbing, and whatever it is, and you're there, like you won't fit in. So there's a peer pressure there that you have to do them things in order to fit in.
One thing I do know is that whilst you was doing the whole road thing, eventually you went into prison.
So obviously I went to jail for some aggravated burglary, not no idiot burglary by the way, not no robbing and running up a man's house trying to take their trainers and things, obviously for proper things still, just in case anyone gets it misinterpreted. So that time then, when I came out, as bad as it may sound, the road was dead. Like, I want to go back to jail not go back to jail to stay in jail, but like just to chill with the man, because it was more fun in jail than it was on road. This is the period where everyone's getting nicked and going in jail. During that period, a lot's happened. Made peas, a lot of peas, lost peas, been in incidents, friends been murdered. I think at least 3 or 4 friends been taken from the streets. So from there, due to faith as well, had to make a conscious decision. I was about 20 when I actually made that conscious decision. Yeah, man made peas on the road, but not enough to say that, yeah, this is worth it. Man seen hundreds bags, man seen all of that, but at the end of the day, man had nothing to show for it.
what were the sort of the trials, the tribulations that you went through to become the J? And I guess, how did you overcome it also?
I didn't want to work for nobody, so I didn't actually want to get a job. So that was a big trial and tribulation. Obviously, I had P's from before to be able to pay rent and to keep going, because obviously I did what I did on the roads. Slowly, the P's was running out. So I had to think to myself, what am I really going to do? Like, I literally just jumped to the deep end. I just looked in a directory one time saying, okay, which job pays the most? Literally, that's how I picked my course at university. I said, which job pays the most? And I see IT, computer system networking type of people pays a lot. I was seeing 50s, 60s, 100s grand. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this course. But it wasn't for me. Like, it was boring. The course was hard, but I wasn't feeling it. So, dropped out of uni now. My brethren started a removal company. Initially started with my next brethren, but my next brethren went in jail. So he was looking for another person to do it. He said, right, Ems, well, I got this company, well, you want to jump on board with me? Obviously, that's the time when I was with Kids Company. He was kind of like helping man and mentoring man to stay afloat, away from the roads. Through them, we managed to get a grant from Evening Standards. So with that grant, we bought new vans, we rebranded our whole company. Like, things was going nice, like business was booming. I think we're probably making well over like 100k a year. They were making sure that we constantly got work, but unfortunately when they crashed, because we're too dependent on them, we crashed with them as well. Kids Company was one of the biggest supporters, because they've been with man since we were on the road, to obviously building our business, our first business, successfully, so forth. And not only Kids Company, but fellow elders in the community, like in the Muslim community. From there, my cousins started selling trainers. At that time, I jumped on Deliveroo. So he told man that he made some P's off the Easy when it came out at the time, innit? So we used to queue up outside Adidas and whatever store was releasing at the time. That time, there a few of us jumped on it. There was probably a good 5 or 6. Even remember yourself, you was involved in the action as well. So your man used to be out there, getting these kicks and literally shotting it straight, selling it straight away for like what, 3 to 5, £600, whatever it may be at the time. I think within 3 months or 2-3 months of doing that, I said, you know what, I need to find a name for myself. Try to create something from this. A brand. Then being at Drops, I hear a lot of people saying, cop it. What did you cop? Did you cop that? Yeah, I just cop this. I just cop that. Okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna call it cop it, because it's simple. In the industry that we're in, it simply means buy it. Yeah. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna run with cop it.
I know some people, they've got to switch up the friends that are around because they can get easily influenced.
That's one thing I had to do. I had to like literally distance myself away from certain things, not attend certain functions, X, Y, and Z, like house parties, whatever, just in case anything kicks off, you're back in the mix. You might start this business, there's a possibility that no one might call you, but you're not going to go to jail, you're not risking anything in terms of your freedom like that. Yeah, but you rather do that with the roads, but you don't want to do that in something that's going to benefit you or not going to affect you in the long run. So you have to weigh up your odds here. Like, for example, when I was doing the removals, not saying man was scared to go certain areas, but man was a bit wary to do jobs in certain areas. Because even though I'm not on anything, but the individual over there don't know that. So they're probably thinking, okay, here's so-and-so. Like, raw, what is he doing around there? Even there's time when I was in a certain area, I'm not going to name the area, and there's youths that actually looked like they was trying something. But they ain't come to man directly and did the thing, but certain things happen. I'm thinking, raw, hold on, like man's not even on nothing. Man's Muslim that time. I'm sure it was the month of Ramadan. Man's fasting, and these youths are trying that. But due to the circumstance, like if it was still on the road, would have been like, raw, you know what, man needs to do your thing. Man needs to retaliate. Thank God that it was the month of Ramadan, so man can't even do nothing anyway. You just have to say, you know what, count as a blessing from God that nothing's happened to man. So just leave it as that. Just charge it to the game. I've been reselling for like, I think almost 4 or 5 years now. I actually enjoy this because I love kicks, and to know that you can make a good living off it as well, obviously, like, it just keeps me going.
For those that are coming off the roads or looking to come off the roads, what piece of advice would you give them?
Don't fear poverty and don't fear change. If you fear poverty, fear ever becoming broke again, trust me, you're going to go back to square one. You're going to go back to what you're doing. If you fear change, fear that I used to be like this, now I'm like that, you're going to go back. You can't watch no face. Like, do you? Because at the end of the day, when you're dead, you're not dead with your peers. You're dying alone. So you have to do this alone.
Hearing what MG had to say was very interesting. I felt he really gave an honest insight into the different routes he took to get to where he's at now. This is a man who has one of the few exclusive sneaker boutiques in London. We're now on the way to meet a very successful person called Kenny Imafidon. This is someone who was from one of the most notorious areas in London, Peckham. He was even remanded in prison for a murder charge, but was rightfully found not guilty in 2010.
Yes, Kenny Imafidon. How's
Well
it going,
done.
man?
Good.
I guess I really want to start off with more or less the beginning of this sort of journey, and more or less allowing you to paint a picture for us.
Yeah, you know, so if I take it back then, I guess, yeah, similar to even like yourself. So for me, it's more like, obviously growing up in Peckham, obviously Peckham way before gentrification had become this cool and hip, trendy place to be, you know. This is a time when you say from Peckham, people look at you like, okay. I mean, so for me, them times, a lot of the news and the stories around Peckham were just the violence, and just the crime. And obviously I have to give that context, because now you talk about Peckham, people think it's some mini Shoreditch. And it's just, growing up, it definitely wasn't like that. It's definitely the jungle. You have to be tough. If not, just end up being a victim. And that's the truth. And it's really the criminality and what you see in terms of just like the people who are highly respected and rated. What they're on is basically what everyone basically aspires to be. For me, I was definitely one of those people where, like, I definitely got caught up and saw those, saw that shining and people enjoying themselves, thinking, rah, I want this too. Particularly when you're broke and you ain't got nothing, that's like, you feel like, oh, if they can do it, then I can do it also. You don't really see them other black role models.
Was there any other sort of aspirations you did have before?
Yeah, do you know, I've always been like big on like education, and that's mainly because of my mum, to be honest, just because I feel like she drummed that into me and my brother, like, do well in school and the world will be your oyster, that kind of jazz. I did like 5 of my GCSEs in year 10, did the rest in year 11. So let's go 12 GCSEs. So for me, it's like I always knew school was a thing.
Showing off,
this is all reality.
For me, I'm still like, how did the thought process kick in, say, let me go and do that? Funny enough, my first work experience was in City Hall. This when like Boris was mayor. Then I did Parliament, and then I did Southwark Council, like all in like one summer. But to get the first one, I remember I just emailed some politician out of the blue, just saying, look, I just want some work experience. So you woke up, probably had your custard, like you love eating.
This guy. I ordered at various people. Obviously, one of them got back to me and just kind of tried to give me some advice. I'm like, look, can I get some experience of shadowing you and seeing like what your job is about? That's it. Her name was Valerie Shawcross. She just resigned now as deputy mayor for London. There's so much hopelessness in our communities. And for me, it's like, how can we actually bring hope? And so it's like, just from young, I've just always really cared about it. That's the truth. And I feel like I just been able to act on that. And that's what really got me into politics. What really got me into like research is also like just the fact that I believe that it's important to have evidence when you're going to try and influence decision makers. Not just in politics, but in business and everywhere else.
When I was going down this sort of path as well, there was many moments where I sort of felt that, look, I'm
kind of unsure in terms of stepping out there into this new life, but still wanting a level of protection when I'm lacking, you know?
No, it's true. And for me, that's something which I feel like I had to grapple with for a long time. If I'm gonna go down this road and wanna do all this positive stuff I'm doing, then at the same time, I've got a lot of these issues. I mean, a few are mine, most are inherited, but regardless, I come with all of these man here. So their problems are still gonna be my problems. So even if I'm still doing the good stuff, people are still gonna associate me with these men. There's no easy answer to it, and I think it really has to come down to your sense of self-confidence and just this faith that you're not gonna run into trouble like that, because the truth is this stuff can catch up to you. So when I was done my work experience in Southwark Council, obviously I met, like I would say, my first professional mentor, which is a guy called Jonathan Terrell. Man I met in the council, head of community safety, proper cool guy, and we just very much we just gelled well, and he just kind of took me under his wing. So he actually showed me like the first report I proper read in that way, if that makes sense. And that's what really inspired me to think, actually, you know, I want to do my own. Obviously the first one mostly was like, I did that when I was 18, 19, which is just all looking at how does politics and economics affect gangs and CSU violence across the UK. Just wanted to just give people a whole different kind of perspective. And yeah, and then I got top criminologist at the time, Professor John Pitts, who basically mentored me and helped me in terms of, cool, this is how you write a report, X, Y, Z. It was mentioned in like parliamentary debates, and then yeah, we just kept doing, they're called the Kenny Report.
The Kenny Report.
Yeah, it's like I didn't even pick the name, trust me. One of my mentors at the time, he's just like, yeah, called the Kenny Report. I'm like, cool. We did the Kenny Report, we did the Kenny Report 2, then we did the Kenny Report 3. Then I was there, trust me. Then the third one, when we did it, I got like more young people involved. And with that one, I was the editor as opposed to the author. So I brought in 24 other people, do you know what I mean?
So you actually started bringing young people into this.
Yeah. And then that one was like the biggest youth-led report that was done. That was done in 2015. And then obviously then we set the business up that same year.
Personally for me, but I don't know if I told you this, but when I came out of jail in like 12, like I think it was a couple years after, someone said, oh yeah, you know Kenny's in Israel or something. I was like, what was he doing there? Because he's from Peckham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's going on over there?
For me, that's something which I've been blessed and fortunate to get, is all that exposure. I'm in Jerusalem. I mean, this is like the stuff I read about in the Bible, but I'm like, I'm here now. But so for me, I'm there also for a conference, you know what I mean? Also just having mentors as well. Obviously like Lord Hastings, obviously you know. He's like a...
Shout out to Lord Hastings.
Definitely, for me, and he's definitely like another, for me, father figure in my life, you know what I mean? He's definitely been instrumental as well in terms of my own development and growth. The biggest thing I had to change, bro, I had to get rid of my pride. And when I say that, I feel like humility has been essential in this journey, because I came from like having good money, doing very well for myself before, to now like working on my first report. And I remember I was getting expenses, that's where Jonathan Terrell supported me as well, but I was getting £100 a week. £100 a week. It's comical, man. Even when I look back and laugh, I don't know how I did it. That's nothing. One of the key moments I say we had in terms of like a big trial was a few years ago. We secured like a good number of clients, and then at that stage we were making about 10K a month. And for me, I was like, this is sick, you know what I mean? But then our major client then reduced the amount in the contract that they were giving us. So now we had to downsize our team. I had to definitely take a pay cut so I can help pay for other people in the team. But really, bro, we went from like 7 people to like 2 people during those months. And we were just like literally down to just a few £100 or whatever. I always had the photo on my phone. And literally then we got like a check for like 12K to do some work. And then we just bounced back. But up until that moment, our money was just burning through.
How long was that period?
I'll be honest, I'd say it's probably like a rocky 6 months. But through that process, it really taught me my why in relation to why we're doing this. And despite like everything, I still had a positive attitude. Like no one could tell like this whole storm was going on. Like we weren't making no money. I mean, massive pay cut, doing all that jazz. I still had peace. So one piece of advice I would give would be around, like, if they don't really know what they want to do, they should then think about the things that they do like and then just test them out, right? Get some work experience in those things that they think they like. And obviously if they do it, they don't like it, then through a process of elimination, hopefully they can figure out what they do like in the end, you know what I mean? What they actually like is what they want to do, if that makes sense. So that's what I would say. That's one of the best ways. Not everybody's going to know what they want to do or what is their life calling or their purpose. That can be a process.
It's quite clear that Kenny always had one foot in and out, and obviously made the leap once he realised the potential he had to be successful. What was interesting was the reality he gave of the risk of being vulnerable when people exit the roads. However, it's a leap you have to make if you want to walk away from it all. We're just about to meet Terrell, who is open to sharing his journey. This is someone who I was in the same gang with. From living a life of gangs and guns in Mitesfield and Brixton, there became a point where he realised he did not want to settle for less in life.
Yes, Terrell.
My bro.
Thank you for having me today, man. What I do want to start off with is, you know, who is Terrell Lewis?
Terrell Lewis is a man who believes in change, a man that believes in growth. Started off, you know, being on the streets of Mitesfield, staying at grandma's house in Mitesfield Estate. You know, Mitesfield wasn't the best of estates. I had a very traumatic upbringing as a young child. From, you know, my dad getting involved in a lot of, heavily involved in gangs and bringing a lot of trouble to the house as a youngster, to seeing drugs on the table and knives and guns, you know what I mean? So I was exposed to that a lot. A lot of domestics in my household. And that's where the trauma and the scars, that's where it came from.
When you was on the roads and stuff, was there ever like a moment like when you felt lost?
Bro, fam, I used to sit on the hills, Mitesfield Estate. We had the hills. There was like some big hills, and it looked like some Teletubby gangland. Yeah, I used to sit on the hill with my machine and cry because I couldn't find my enemies. You know what I mean? This is a conversation I don't really talk about. That's when I knew, right, something's wrong. Something's wrong. This is taking me somewhere down, and I felt destroyed, like I'm just destroying myself. I felt like I was destroying myself. And I remember I was walking in Brocco Park one time and I saw a family walking. And when I see the family walking, I look at them, I'm thinking, raw, they're living good. Like there's a dad, there's a mum, there's a daughter, and there's a son. I'm thinking, raw, one day I want a family. But you know what, I can't have a family if I'm living like this. I see my mum in Brixton, I wink at my mum because I don't want to stop and talk to you because I think people are watching me to see who that, you know what I mean? I was paranoid.
During the start of it, did you have any aspirations growing up?
I wanted to be a footballer. I actually got scouted for West Ham. And me and my boy and my best friend at the time, Zavon Hines, we ended up going on trial and we got in. Actually went up to Stevenage Bar and moved off the ends. It kind of saved me at early stages. But then those trips to the ends from Stevenage, from Hertfordshire, coming down for the weekend, I will come down and go and test out a blank fire, you know what I mean? I started going to church with Max and Carl and Pastor Mimi. That was like our youth club at the time. And my whole thing was, one day I just decided I want a family. I want a family. I understand I can't have a family if I'm out here. So I'm not a gang member, everyone. Leave me alone. I don't want no trouble. But just to let you know, I still have my machine. And Pastor Mimi, boy, she was that safe haven for me, and she actually helped me a lot. She showed me that love. She showed me that certain sense of peace. First, it was me going to church, and I have my 4-5 on my lap. The next week, there's no 4-5. It might be a fucking knife on me, and then from the knife, I ain't got nothing on me. Do you know what I mean? It was slowly just pride, ego, unlearn.
Was there something that made you say, alright, let
For one, Pastor Mim used to cook the most amazing jollof rice you ever She used to cook that. So when the church used to be done, she'd cook jollof rice for everyone. And then just the whole love, the whole energy of, I haven't got everything, but I'm at peace and I'm smiling. There might not be a lot on electric or gas, but you know, I'm not worried. God's got this.
What were the sort of, barriers that you had to jump over?
So I'm training in this kids' playground, and my friend done a video of me. I put it on YouTube, it got a few thousand views. People started messaging on the YouTube, like, yo, I want to come and train with you. And I'm thinking, you want to train with me? I remember Mike's come over. Mike started to come to the park with me. He started training with me. I'm thinking, Raj, you know what? There might be more people out here that need to train. It spiraled into man just literally just enjoying fitness, enjoying me training in the park and inviting people down who couldn't afford the gym now. And that spiraled into me going to Brocco Park and doing little fitness sessions of people coming to train with me. And we never charged at first. We used to just tell people to come and bring fruit and water. That was your offering, you know, the blessing. Everyone bring their stuff together and train together. And it came to, we had like 100 people in the park training with us. We had young people from Brixton, Peckham, Tulse, Fulton Heath, Lewisham, all coming together on one accord to better themselves. To be honest with you, I've got about 10 youngsters that's in here now that are working full time here as personal trainers that was with me 7, 8 years ago in the parks.
Was there a worry about finance? Like, bro, like, how am I gonna support myself as I be legit?
You know what, bro? It was passion and purpose, and it's hard to explain, but it was just like, it was never a bread thing. You know, it was never ever thought about it. It was more about helping. It was more about trying to find peace within so much chaos going on. So we started taking donations of £1 at one point. I feel like that helped us to go and get more water and fruit. The seed you plant today is not the fruit you eat tomorrow, you know. And I plant seeds back then, 10 years ago, and I'm only seeing them blossom now. I had to go and take up courses that I don't want to take up. I had to pull out insurance that I didn't want to take out. I had to do risk assessments that I didn't want to do. But I had to do that because I knew that we had to play chess. When we was training in Brocco Park, the police used to sit in their car and watch us train. Lambeth used to send the police there. They thought we were starting a fight club. They actually said it. The police said, yo, you guys can't do gatherings in the park. You're messing up the grass. And I said, what about the dogs shitting on the grass? What do you mean we're messing up the grass? They talk about, Rob, we can't train in the park. And I just let them know, listen, if you stop us training in the park, I guarantee I'm gonna cause a roadblock in the middle of Brixton. I'm gonna cause a distraction to everybody's day, everybody. And I'm gonna cause a riot of fitness in the streets of Brixton. Lambeth heard that, they said, fuck that, this guy's serious. They invited me into a meeting. But I went into this meeting with my tracksuit, with a paper in my hand, standing in front of all these suits, and I threw a paper on, and I was like, yeah, there's the insurance, there's my qualifications, there's the risk assessment. What next? They looked at us like, whoa. And then once they understood what we was doing, they wanted to help us. For 10 years now, Lambeth has used block workout and Brixton Street Gym as a good work in the community, as a forefront. A young person will be walking through Angeltown, and a group of boys will be like, yo. He'll turn around thinking, fuck. And they'll be like, yo, I see you in them block workout videos, keep it up. You know what I mean? This is real stories that's happened, you know what I mean?
Mentally, how did you stay focused?
Just looking in the mirror, bro, to be honest with you. Just looking in the mirror, fam. And remembering where man's coming from. Remembering why I left the road and why I continue to go against the current. That's my motivation, my bro. Obviously, we're gonna build more gyms, man. That's the plan. More gyms around the country. We're gonna put more street gyms in estates, hoods, more workshops that we can actually just do pop-ups.
Unfortunately, we got many people, especially young people, that they want to wait out.
Mm-hmm.
The in the trenches.
Yes.
You know, they don't know what to do. They're lost.
Yes.
What sort of advice would you give to them?
Go where you're at peace. Literally. Go where you're at peace. Go where you're at happy. Go where you can breathe. Stop holding your breath. Yeah. Have the right conversations, keep the right people around you, but at the same time live. Don't be scared to get cut. Continue to find peace, continue to focus on what's right. We all know what's right to us. Yeah, we all know what's right to us. There's perspectives, and then there's truth.
Terrell's come from a long way, and from his story you could really see where the influences came from when he was a kid. I feel he really expressed how much his mental health was impacted by the chaotic lifestyle he was living. Improving his well-being was always his focus. It was never about the money. From meeting a sneaker boutique, research company and gym owner, we've been able to show some of the different industries that people who've left the life of crime can achieve. But in the next episode, we'll be able to show more.